What a beautiful ceremony this morning. This was so precious and so special. It's been 3.5 years since last Jukai ceremony that I officiated at. So it's a while. It's been a while. COVID had a lot to do with that. But also there's this beautiful upwelling of commitment and depth of practice in the Sangha, especially over the last 6 months. So I'm really appreciating that. Yeah, it's a birthday, isn't it? It's a birth of new beings, And I just want to share with all of you very intimately for myself. I mean, that's what my deepest vow is to pass the Dharma along, to offer the Dharma and to share the Dharma. It's been such a powerful support for me in my life. And now it's just, it's like breathing for me, is to practice the Dharma as I understand it. I'm so happy here, practicing Zazen and practicing the Dharma with you, with Sangha. I don't have to be up here in like the teacher seat. It's not about that. It's about practicing the Dharma and practicing Zazen specifically with you all. There's somebody outside. Anybody got a goat? Okay, you can just send them around front. I'm even happier now. That was awesome. Yeah, they got goat yoga, right? I've heard of that. They got goat Zen. Yeah, they're just being here is. I'm literally ecstatically happy when I'm doing Zazen with practitioners who are really committed to this practice. It's just incredibly joyful for me. I resolved a lot of what I needed to resolve on a personal level, with my practice. And so for me, it's really is about sharing it with those who want to deepen in it. So when I have people like you four, who really commit and want to take the Kai, I mean, that's like the meaning of my life. That's why I'm here. That's what I'm happy doing. That's what I want to be doing. It gives me more meaning and joy than anything. Yeah. So thank you. Yeah. Thank you. That's one thing I wanted to say. Yeah. There's several people in the room and online who have taken our precept course this year. And we just had our final precept class on Wednesday, just a few days ago. And there was a lot of strong emotion and strong feeling. And I'm sure that's magnified now after witnessing this Jukai ceremony. So, 2 people from that class have already, indicated a strong desire to take Jukai. And I suspect several others, will be on board for another cohort. So this will have, likely have another ceremony in 3 months or so. Yeah, so you can see how moving it is, right? I mean, I was moved. I was unexpectedly moved by today's ceremony. It had been such a long time. I'd forgotten how beautiful it is. Yeah. This Dharma is very simple. Zen practice, it's very simple. It's very deep, but it's very simple. Okay? You can call it, well, here's the simplicity of it. Be fully alive. Be fully present to your experience. Okay? That's it. And the Dharma teaching there is that when you suffer fully, suffering disappears. When you experience the self fully, the self disappears. Okay? So what you get from that, you get awakening, you get liberation, you get a release from suffering, you stop creating suffering, right? Those are all versions of the same thing. Those are saying the same thing. Okay, you're disidentifying from your egoic consciousness and you're identifying as Buddha, mind, big mind, that too. Yeah, those are all ways of describing, what's happening. And it's very simple, actually. We stop identifying as a false self created from karmic conditions, and we wake up to who we really are, our true nature, as the awakened one. And this awakeness sees that inside and outside are not opposites. Me and you are not opposites. Now and then are not separate. Here and there are not separate. Joy and suffering are not separate. Wisdom and pain are not separate. It's all together. And we can wake up to this truth. This path is a promise of that. All the teachers, all the practitioners down through the ages, millennia of practitioners, validated this truth in their experience. And now all of you are on the path of bringing it alive in your own experience. It's inevitable. It is inevitable. You can no longer miss discovering your true nature. Then you can miss the ground with a stomp of your foot. Okay. So the only question is how and when you wake up to that. Yeah. So this practice, our Zen practice, gives us a how to do that. A very specific how to do that. The Kai, the precepts, are actually part of that how. Yeah. This is what we discussed in our precept class this past week as we were discussing the grave precepts. How do we actualize ourselves as the harmony of the universe? Oh, non-killing, non-stealing, non-elevating ourselves, all the things that we said today. When we practice that, we actually discover who we are. Those aren't commandments, they aren't strictures in order for us to become something that we're not, a pure being or a good person, any of that. It's not that. It's actually a way for us to wake up to who we truly are. It's such a compassionate, the Dharma, this practice, the forms of this practice are such a compassionate, skillful means of waking up. Because when we don't wake up, before we wake up, as we're waking up, we create suffering for ourselves, we create suffering for others, we feel unfree, we feel asleep, we feel separate and alienated and isolated. So the thought patterns keep us in thrall, the habit patterns of our body and our mind. tend towards self-centeredness. So left to their own devices, keep us in a state of being asleep and being reactive and creating suffering. In his Dharma talk last week, Shishin Roshi gave an awesome Dharma talk. Some of you might have seen it, tuned in. It was Friday, 2 Fridays ago, as they wrapped up their Ango, Great Mountain. And it was a really great talk. He was channeling Otis Redding. The song "Try a Little Tenderness" specifically. And then I wanted to really share his Dharma from that talk, because it was the how to practice. And he gave these 3 qualities: awareness, courage, and tenderness. And those are the ones I want to share with you today. Awareness, courage, and tenderness. Yeah. So awareness is just incredibly powerful. Okay? This is an awareness practice. To see, when we see what we're doing, when we see what we're creating, when we see the thought patterns and behavior patterns that we reinforce in ourselves, right? We're somehow, subconsciously addicted to. It's such a powerful opening to see it. So powerful. Then there's this gap, right? That's not me. That's something I'm doing or is doing me, however you want to phrase it. Okay, but there's something there. Wait a second. I can get some leverage on that. I can work with that. The awareness. Okay. And now courage. Okay, courage is essential. And courage, of course, the word courage also has the root of cor, which is heart. Right? Cor in French. Terrible accent, probably. Heart, right? It's heartfulness. Courage is heartfulness. It isn't, of course, courage isn't not being afraid. Courage is how you face your fears, right? With heart, full on. So all of these edges elicit fear. Right? What if I'm nobody? Most of us would rather be in a familiar place of discomfort or pain than in an unfamiliar place of openness and unknown. And when I say us, what do I mean? I mean, we have these drives that kind of tend us in that way, that resist the openness, that resist the unknown of the future, that might even resist our potential and our power. There's something comforting about the familiarity of our limiting circumstances and conditions. So it takes this quality, this courage of being wholehearted and wholeheartedly accepting all of the conditions in your life, everything in your life. And then there's the tenderness. Yeah. So to really be soft, because the strength is in the softness. Tenderness is sensitivity. Tenderness is fellow feeling. These are the things that give us flexibility and resilience and responsiveness, that tenderness. As soon as we gut it out, or we make a project out of it, or we try to fix it, I want to wake up. I want enlightenment. I want to be a better person. Is that tender? We can easily slip into this project mind around ourselves. There's nowhere to go. There's nothing to get. All there is a path of becoming intimate with yourself. Maezumi Roshi said this a lot. You know, you all know his appreciate your life is kind of his mantra. That was always his mantra. But I heard him say become intimate with yourself more than I heard him say appreciate your life. Actually, when I first heard him say that, I was like, it scared me. I was like, I don't want to become intimate with myself. I didn't. Yeah, I was scared. I was your age, Nick. I was like, intimate with myself? I don't want to become intimate with anybody. Intimacy was not something that, I mean, it scared me. Yeah, it scared me. Of course, I did want it. We all want it. We need it. We need it. But that's the path, intimate with yourself. So know yourself. Only you can know yourself at that subtle level, that really intimate level. You know, nobody else can see those layers in you. Ever, you know, not me, not your therapist, not your partner. Okay? Yeah, only you. Only you. Every one of you is just a beautiful flower. Perfect. Perfect. Whatever shape and color your petals are. Perfect. So be that. Okay, so it's really simple. Yeah. It's really simple. Just be fully alive with what's alive for you. All right? And that's the essence of the Bardo teachings that I've tried to bring forth. Right? So birth and death are not separate. There's always birth, there's always death. There's always birthing, there's always dying. It's always in movement, always in transition. So appreciate that part of it. You know, everything is impermanent, always. And that's what do I want to say? You know, be that. Don't fixate on anything. You don't have to be a certain way. In fact, please don't be any certain way. Don't be any certain way. Just be yourself. Yeah, that's why the silence and the stillness are just so powerful doorways, you know, into this awakening experience. Just keep listening to the silence. Keep feeling the stillness. It's not inert. The stillness and the silence, they're not inert. They're alive. So we have 3 hours left in today, and we have a half day tomorrow, ending with a possibly very dramatic Jukai Hosen ceremony, which is going to partly depend on you, because everyone will have an opportunity to ask a question of the Shuso. We'll have a sign-up sheet for everyone to do that. I hope everybody signs up and asks a question. He's going to give a talk. He's been preparing for 3 months. Let's give Professor Miyoshin something to meet. Okay? Yeah. All right. So yeah, keep the strong practice going. Awareness, courage, and tenderness. A few more hours today, tonight, tomorrow, and let's bring our Ango home with a lot of strong